Crystia!
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the Fringe. The Jasper wildfire was unprecedented. Some say it was planned. Some say the warning labels were out there for a long time that it was a tinderbox. Whatever stance you take on that fire, many people lost their livelihoods, their homes, and have been since waiting for some sign, some information to come out that perhaps their lives can get back to normal. Now, 6 months later, we're still sitting here wondering what has happened. More in particular, what I'm wondering today, and one thing we're going to talk about, is the money that came from Canadian taxpayers to help rebuild Jasper for its citizens, for its people. We're going to talk about Randy today. And a few other things. But before we get into that, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to remind you guys, if you're enjoying the content, please hit that subscribe button. Please join us here in our large Fringe majority. We're expanding our community at an extremely fast rate. It would be great to have you guys join us if you're enjoying the content. Leave a thumbs up and a comment on the way out. It helps us more than you know. With that being said, let's get into today's story, ladies and gents. Danielle Smith, this is one of the things Danielle still does that I admire, that I definitely think is fantastic, is that she still, even though she is the Premier of Alberta, she still sits on her once regular talk show on Canadian radio to sit and take calls from Albertans, from the people that she governs, the people that gave her mandate. She's willing to listen to what they have to say. She's willing to hear their concerns. I think it's phenomenal. Not only is she fighting for Canada, but she's willing to sit down and openly listen to her constituents anytime. This week, many questions were brought up on her show about Jasper from residents and those around Alberta who are concerned for what's going on in Jasper. I'm going to play this audio clip and we're going to break in little bits to talk about what's going on and where people should be posting some blame right now. But I can guarantee you it is definitely not Danielle Smith. Let's take a listen here and we're going to get into a little bit of why corruption sees no end in our federal government. Not to mention, again, the idea of, was this all planned? Based on the reaction so far, I tend to sit on that fence. Let's take a listen.
All right. Graham is calling in from Airdrie with a Jasper housing question. This has been a sore point for a lot of Jasper residents. Go ahead, Graham. You're on with the Premier.
Hi. Thank you for taking my call, Premier.
Hey.
I grew up in Jasper, and it has been exactly 6 months to the day that you made an announcement in front of Alberta that through tears that you promised that your government would be there to support Alberta during its rebuild. 6 months on, when the province is needed now more than ever for financial support for housing, your government has abandoned the people of Jasper. I would like to know when you plan to keep your promise to help Jasper rebuild.
Yeah, it's very sad. I mean, we said right from the beginning that we would love to be able to. We put through orders in cabinet. We committed to $120 million of build. We have 250 homes ready to be deployed. And Jasper rejected us. The municipality said they didn't want them. And Parks Canada rejected us. They said they didn't want them. What we needed was to have land to put them somewhere. And part of the problem with the way the legislation works in Jasper is they have a set town site, and they're not prepared to clear any additional space for us to put those houses up. So
I understand there is some land there, but it's not conducive for housing.
Well, they want it to be multifamily housing, and I can understand that why. If you are not able to get more land to do more building, then you want to be able to build multifamily. But
I also want to point out, this is where people start to talk about things like 15-minute cities. You talk about multifamily housing. Sorry, folks, you can't have your home back. You can't have your large 2,000 square foot home back with your bigger lot in your backyard and your space. We're going to build multi-family housing there because it's cheaper. We're going to cram you into a box. Is this the future? Now keep in mind, one thing Danielle's going to mention here, Jasper's not her jurisdiction because it's federal land. Let's get into that, and then we'll talk about why this is a problem.
But we wanted to be able to use that land so that we could get the families in there so that they had someplace to stay while they're rebuilding. So I would say call Mayor Ireland in Jasper and tell him your concerns. Call the head of Parks Canada, because the two of them declined our offer. We still stand by ready to deploy these 250 homes. We've got it all lined up, but they don't want them. And if they don't want them, there's nothing more we can do. It's not our jurisdiction.
Daryl is calling in from Diamond Valley on the
So they have the same question coming in here, and this is where we're going to talk a little bit about Randy. But it's alarming to hear that this is federally managed land, that the premier has sat and said, we've got millions of dollars allocated to put in 250 homes, and the federal government says, no, we don't want it. Now, Danielle, of course, has been fighting, saying there's people that want to get back on with their lives. They want to rebuild. They want to get back to normal and enjoy their lives again. And we want to start to see Jasper thrive again. Federal government says, nah, we're not going to do it. We're not going to do it. Which raises, again, some very interesting questions as we get into what this caller has to say.
Same question, housing in Jasper. Go ahead, Daryl.
Yes, thank you, Premier. I understand that to get the land, it's got to go through Parliament. And you know where Parliament is these days. Why doesn't the province of Alberta appropriate that land or annex it or something there and say to hell with Mr. Trudeau?
Well, I can tell you that would be complicated. It is federally owned land. We have federal parks. It's federal jurisdiction. I mean, this is one of the frustrations we identified right at the beginning. We were on standby with equipment at the border of Jasper, waiting to be called in because we didn't have the authority to go into their airspace and help without an invitation. That's why when the recovery began, I insisted that we needed to be part of it. But the problem with the disarray in Ottawa, I don't even know who the lead on Jasper is. It took a while for them to identify who it was. It was Randy Boissonneau, and then he, because of his political troubles, stepped down. But I don't even think that there is a lead minister on this. I wrote a letter to the Prime Minister several weeks ago saying, by all means, step in so that we have some land to be able to put up these 250 homes. I was ignored. I've put in a request to Dominic LeBlanc for the same reason. I was ignored. And Parks Canada and Jasper officially told us they don't want it. So we're kind of at the end of the line here of what we can do as a province. So as I say, call Mayor Ireland and call Parks Canada and tell them that it's unacceptable. And we'd be more than happy to step in to help.
So right there, she says that nobody has identified who's in charge. Now, we know that there's multiple Randys. So that must have been confusing for them. But with Randy Boissonneau, and then him stepping down, and then you see the disarray in Parliament that's going on right now. It's been prorogued so that Justin Trudeau can still enjoy the lavish lifestyle he has as Prime Minister while installing Mark Carney as the next Prime Minister of Canada, at least until we see a federal election by title. But they've ignored Danielle Smith. So when we go back to talking about Trump and his tariffs, and you hear Justin Trudeau saying, hey, Alberta should be there for the rest of us. Alberta should be there to exploit and destroy their oil and gas sector so that we can push back against Donald Trump. They're not a Team Canada player. They don't care about the rest of the country. Isn't this the time? Isn't it situations like this that makes that the most hypocritical statement on the planet? Where was Team Canada for the people of Jasper? Where's Team Canada allowing the province to give the money for these homes to be built? I'd tell Team Canada to go sit on it and slide. I mean, this is absolutely appalling that Danielle Smith says the province has money, they're ready to help the residents, and they've been blocked out. They're being ignored by the federal government. You know why? Because the federal government doesn't give a damn about Alberta. This is why. Rebuilding after the fire. Minister Boissonneau announces a new recovery program for Jasper and small businesses. Keep in mind, the focus here is on small businesses in 15-minute cities. Over $3.9 million in grants, businesses support services, revitalization of tourism, attractions to help Jasper businesses recover from the economic impacts of last summer's wildfires. Now, keep in mind, this came out in November. Now, Randy has stepped down. Where's this money? Where's this money that's been allocated? Residents and businesses in Jasper and Jasper National Park are working hard to recover from the devastating effects the summer wildfires had on the community and local economy. Government of Canada is taking action to help Jasper rebuild its economy and reemerge stronger and more resilient. Except we're ignoring the Premier of Alberta. We won't take her phone calls. We won't allow her to give her money to get homes built. We won't allocate any land. But hey, we're working hard, ladies and gentlemen. While we're taking in our own government contracts, by the way. Today, the Honorable, very questionable, Randy Boissonneau, Minister of Employment, Workforce Development, and Official Languages, including Indigenous, that he identifies as, by the way, on behalf of the Honorable Dan Vandal, Minister of Prairies Can, announced over $3.9 million in federal funding to help small businesses in Jasper rebound. A total of $3.45 million will be invested to launch the Jasper Business Recovery Program, a new grant initiative for small businesses located in Jasper. I wonder if any of those small businesses have ties to the federal government. Because we all know how Randy likes to give out contracts to his own companies, right? The program will provide non-repayable funding directly to businesses with 50 or fewer employees that are licensed in either the municipality of Jasper or Jasper National Park. So again, Randy may move his offices over there, claim he's Indigenous, and then get another grant because he'll have fewer than 50 employees, right? Sole proprietors in the construction, tourism, or events industries will be eligible for up to $5,000, while incorporated businesses can receive up to $10,000. In addition of the funding, the program also includes coaching and business development services. The program will be administered by Community Features West Yellowhead. So they talk about it says here that the program is expected to assist in 325 small businesses and support more than 500 jobs and provide businesses services to 275 clients. None of that's happened. The houses aren't being rebuilt, so how are businesses going to open if there's nowhere for anybody to live? They're going to give an additional $500,000 to Tourism Jasper to encourage visitors to return to Jasper so they can look at the construction of 15-minute cities. I mean, they keep talking about small businesses and tourism in here. There is no mention of building houses. There is no mention of the province or Danielle Smith's contribution. Funding, here's quick facts. Funding announced today builds on previous federal activities to support recovery in Jasper, including investments of more than $15.2 million for rent relief and $3 million for tourism initiatives, as well as transfer of planning development authority to the municipality. Nothing for the residents. Right? We're worried about getting people in there spending their money. We're worried about holding people off until they agree to get crammed into boxes, but we're going to try and prop up Jasper's image in the meantime. Like, all you see in this document, Business Recovery Program, Tourism Jasper, everything the federal departments are doing. I mean, my question is, why are Canadian taxpayers being told at a time when a trade war is on the loom that our premier isn't playing well with Team Canada while Jasper residents are homeless and Team Canada would rather suck up that money, give it to their friends, swallow it, walk away with it, whatever's happened to it, nonetheless delay the rebuilding of people's homes in Jasper? I don't think it's fair. And if I lived in Jasper as an Albertan, I can definitely tell you I'm fed up. I'm furious about this. I don't agree with it. Let me know your thoughts down below. Should Danielle be playing with Team Canada when this is how Alberta is being treated? Or do you think the federal government should, get back to work at some point and maybe do something to help the people who have lost their homes? Or do you think this was all part of the plan? Let me know your ideas down below, your thoughts as you leave a thumbs up and a comment on the way out. If you enjoyed this video and it's your first time here, I hope this video has earned your subscription. Make sure to hit that subscribe button again, folks. Click the bell for notifications. Join me live this Friday on the channel for Friday Night Fringe, our live streaming show where we go over everything that's happened this week in politics, everything that's coming up in the week ahead, as well as some back and forth with our communities, joined by my beautiful wife, Mrs. Fringe. We look forward to chatting with you guys each and every week to hear what you have to say outside of making these videos. We look forward to seeing you this Friday at 6 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Central here on the channel. With that said, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed this video and have a great rest of your day. I'll catch you on the next one.